eBoaster11 from YouTube says that they are in school to be a pastor, and in the last couple of years, they've gotten into wearing kilts. Good on you. They say, I want to wear them more often. My question is this. Do you know how the Clan Clergy / Clark Tartan would have been worn by priests? Do you have suggestions on what accessories I should wear to be formal / professional as a pastor? I think it would be fun to be the kilted pastor, but I also don't want to wind up looking like a fool. Okay. That concern is valid. I think a certain amount of dignity is important for your profession. So,
yes, very much so.
Yeah.
For the priestly profession or any other,
ministerial.
Yes.
Vocational.
No. Or other professions.
Right.
I'm any profession where you're interacting with the public. I am pro kilt wearing from an aspect of it's a very disarming garment. It is. You don't go up to a guy in a kilt and think that he's going to bite your head off or something. Oftentimes, guys who are wearing kilt are very approachable, whether they're big strapping angry looking dude or not. People still think that we're approachable because they talk to me. More people talk to me wearing a kilt than if I'm wearing pants. Mm-hmm. So there is something to be said for wearing a kilt just for the disarming nature of the garment, so to speak.
Yep.
I've seen priests do it, with shirt black shirt and collar, and I've seen priests do it or pastors do it kind of just with regular wear in their daily office type environment without collar.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on
I have many
priesthood?
thoughts.
Oh, please.
I have many thoughts on priesthood. Yes, but I won't get into that. I think here's the thing. If you're still in seminary, you don't really know where you're going to land, I suspect, in terms of what your congregation is going to be like. So we can give you all the advice in the world, but if you wind up founding a church of your own, or which some people do, or being assigned to a congregation, then it may depend on what they are willing to go with or what they find appropriate. So be aware that no matter what we say, it may not survive contact with the enemy. Mm-hmm. Not the congregations or the bad guys, but they can be challenging. From people I know who've been in the game, it can be a real challenge dealing with the personalities and the politics of a congregation. So, for instance, we used to have a friend who used to work here named Adam, who is a minister, and his congregation liked the fact that he wore a kilt. They thought he was pretty cool and enjoyed the fact that he wore kilts, but not when he was ministering. And they very strongly disagreed with the idea of him wearing one.
Yeah. Now, in fairness, he was also shepherding to an older congregation.
Correct.
Who are a little bit more conservative, so they weren't feeling it in the same way that a more hip, playing guitar up front in the church kind of congregation.
Perhaps.
Might
I mean,
feel
it's going to depend on your denomination. It's going to depend on what part of the country you're in, all that kind of stuff. That being said, there aren't really any hard and fast rules about how to make it look professional any more than there would be for anyone in a office job, middle class job, like you were saying. So a shirt and tie, fine. A collar, if your denomination uses a collar, fine. We know plenty of people have done that. A priest's shirt with a collar and tweeds actually looks pretty cool. I know one or two Anglicans who do that. So I don't think you need to worry too much about that. It's just a matter of looking. Just think in terms of looking professional. Think in terms of smart day wear in general. Now, if you're doing Bible study or something with the kids, then I would say a polo. Like we often say, like casual Friday kind of a vibe. I would not recommend a t-shirt. I think you need to be a little sharper than that, a little more authority. Something like a pilot's shirt might be good for casual occasions. Short sleeve dress shirt, things like that. The basic tenet with the tartan in question, if you're thinking about clergy / Clark in general, was that there's a lot of confusion about it, but the earliest examples we have of it actually goes back to a design all the way back to like the 1830s with Wilson's of Bannockburn. It's that old. The problem is it went through a lot of variations and it has a very strange journey of color changes and stuff. But the basic theory was that the original tartan, which was called Priest by Wilson's, was that it was muted, darker tones. There was apparently some prescription or some custom in the Highlands, like in the 18th going into the 19th century, that no one had a problem with priests or ministers wearing a kilt, but they thought they should be more subdued. They thought it should be more subdued colors, darker colors. And since you're in the land of Presbyterianism, makes perfect sense. So going with clerk or clergy, hey, you're good. It's fine. It's tradition. It's been around for a while. Go for it. You can also wear other tartans. So you don't have to feel like it's putting on your collar, like you have to have the same kilt whenever you're in uniform, as it were. You can wear other tartans. So the old advice was just try to keep it, a little low-key, a little calm. So maybe not loud McLeod. Yeah.
Agreed.
But that's, in a nutshell, that's what I think.
The one other thing I'll point out, logistically speaking, if you are going to be in front of a group standing, great, wonderful. If you're going to be in a Bible study sitting, if it's in like the back of your church and rectory and everyone's in a low couch, be mindful of, flashing the congregation or the people in the Bible study. Make sure that you are standing, either standing or are very, very cognizant of the situation in your lap, shall we say. Make sure you're wearing underwear, especially when you're, around those people. You don't want to have any kind of, wardrobe malfunctions or embarrassing situations. So just be more cognizant than you normally would in the rest of your life with those type of situations.
Yeah, the bottom line is you want it to be an expression of personality. You do not want it to become a gimmick. I see what you're saying about wanting to be, the fun pastor. The kilted pastor could be fun, but you also don't want it to become the only thing you're known for. I mean, it can be a great icebreaker like it is for other people, fine. But you need to be able to project authority and dignity and also compassion and support and all those kinds of things as your vocation demands when it's necessary. So you don't want the kilt to become a distraction or something that lessens your authority somehow in people's minds.
Authority or the general mission. You are shepherding to a flock. You are, there.
Well, that's what I was saying.
Yes, understood. But you're there to preach the word of God. You're not there to be a distraction in, why is he doing this? Once people, understand that this is kind of part of who you are and that's part of your personality, that's fine. But you don't want it to distract from the main mission.
Mm-hmm. So,
Agreed.
Start with where the congregation's at first.
Yeah.
And then go from there.
And or if you get pushback on it, maybe start with a tie. Maybe start with a tartan vest.
I was just thinking.
Start with other things to incorporate it into the outfit to kind of get them used to it. It's like boiling frogs. You start slow and you build up. So there's other ways to incorporate it into the outfit and get them used to it. Before jumping in.
You could also code it for certain occasions. Like the Presbyterians were very famous for, back in the Covenanter days, they actually some of their services had to be in secret, or they were not allowed to be on government sanctioned church land. So they would have their services in the wilderness, in glens and stuff, in outdoor settings. So it might be that your kilt becomes something you use for outdoor activities, like the fundraiser fair, the barbecue in the summer, or outdoor services or something like that. And it's part of a way of you letting your hair down for those occasions. But if you're in front of the altar, if you're at the pulpit, then you're in something more conservative. There's a lot of ways to do it. You'll figure it out.
Yeah. Cheers. Good luck.
Good luck. Hey guys, I hope that little discussion was helpful for anybody who's wearing a kilt in a professional capacity, not just somebody in the clergy. So tell me in the comments below, what do you do for a living, and are you allowed to wear a kilt in your work environment? If so, what kind of reactions do you get? Or do you work with the public even? And if so, does that really help you break the ice? Or does it cause more questions than it's worth and you just don't care? Tell me in the comments what your kilt in the professional world story is.